Doctor's home in Columbia did not admit Jews, but Catskill Country Club, a public course a half-hour across the river, did. Finally, there it was, the Rip Van Winkle Bridge across the Hudson River. God, I loved my summer job as a toll-taker on the bridge during high school and Harvard, with my snappy uniform and gun in the drawer that had never been fired since it was put there in 1939, looking up at Olana, the grand palace on top of the hill built by the painter Frederick Church. He turned left along Mount Marino and then right into the long driveway of the new house. He got out of the car, dragged himself into the house. The sharp, tart scent of fresh paint was a joy, snapping him awake for a moment. The renovation was finally complete. He called Barry, still at Spring's apartment. "I'm home, hon," he said. "Thank God. Long day. Love you. Good night." "Love you too. Sleep tight." It was almost 2 a.m., but he was now so tired he felt jazzed. He dragged himself up the 1875 grand staircase, the creaking a comfort. He poured himself a shot of George Dickel sipping whiskey and lay back, almost horizontal, on the new leather-scented couch and watched the news. All bad. After a few minutes, he clicked it off and sat up. He was so tired he slouched back in the couch, and then tried again to get on his feet. On your feet, yay, and a sudden blow, a sense, draining to steady, falling forward, fell face down on floor. Barry called his cell phone at 6 in the morning. No answer. She left a message. At 7, nothing. Another message. She steeled herself and called Dr. Amy Rose, an intensivist in charge of the Cush Care Hospital emergency room and ICU, and left a message to call. Nothing. Panicking, she called Amy's uncle, Orville Rose, their dear friend and forever doctor for the town, who knew everything. Almost 75, Orville was old enough to be up early. He picked up on the second ring. "I'm frantic," she said to Orville, telling him the details. "Somebody's got to go over there. There's a spare key under the back doormat." "I'm on my way," said Orvie. At Roy's house, Orville put on a mask and gloves and went in, shouting for Roy. No answer. Worrisome. He walked through the rooms and finally found Roy sprawled face down on the oak floor in a significant puddle of blood. Orville tried to turn him over. Whoa! Dead or unconscious bodies are heavy. He tried again, but no way. Roy groaned, awoke. He needed help to roll over, dazed and bloody. Orville did a quick assessment. The blood was from a gash in his forehead and temple, clotted, hours old, a fall on his face. There had been no time to prevent a direct face-down hit, could be heart arrhythmia, transient, now in normal sinus, breathing okay, no signs of stroke, feels feverish, been drinking, George Dickel, kind of obese, disoriented, mumbling, probably drunk. Please don't let it be a stroke. Orville called Lebowski Ambulance and Taxidermy to take Roy to the hospital, then called Barry. Clearly he fell on his face. But why? He never has fallen that way, never. Why? Dunno, but we'll find out. Roy was now fully awake in normal sinus rhythm, angry that he was being taken to the hospital. Orville knew Roy well. The Jewish community in Columbia was small and tight, and he'd helped Roy into medicine, as he did a generation later with his niece Amy. At the start of COVID, when the emergency doctors at Cush Care realized how dangerous it was to stay and take care of patients at Cush Care, many of them quit. Those who remained were now really stressed. Orville knew Roy was back in New York and had asked if he would help and if he knew any doctor friends who might come to help as well. Roy said he would be glad to, and he brought in 2 other former interns of the House of God, Eat My Dust Eddie and Hyper Hooper. Both were recently retired in California, and bored. They jumped at the chance to work with Roy again and had already arrived at Cush Care. Roy was supposed to join them after the event at Montefiore. So I passed out from exhaustion, Roy said, lying on a stretcher in emergency. Big deal. As I told you in detail, it was a long day and I was dead tired. For some reason I blacked out and fell. What was the last thing you recall? Amy said. She was in full